Scrounging up my last minute notes here. A couple of hot button subjects. And we're going to get on with the week of wrestling. Yeah, I know. Coffee at 6 at night. Hey. For those who are in, be sure to share this out. Let's get some people in here this week. All right, Justin, what's happening, bro? Bet. All right. I know it's a bit of an old shirt, but it's a comfortable shirt, and I love it. I mean, I usually wear the podcast shirt, but I think the Mrs. put it on. She put the podcast shirt on today. She went to town real fast. It's going to be a really interesting episode. I will say that. Got a good, decent amount of news to talk about. We had a return on Friday Night SmackDown, which, bruh, look at that. I got the goosebumps, bro. Sent a chill down my spine whenever I heard that music. I was like, yes, yes. I mean, yeah, our title did change hands, but you couldn't have picked a better person to take him on for that. And what better way to celebrate a return than with a title change? Holy shit. Holy shit, though. I know a lot of team machine don't miss, bro. Yeah. I got you, bro. Yeah, for the Shed Podcast for Survivor Series, they're going to be hosting it in San Diego at the ballpark where the Padres play ball. And what better way to hold on to the accent, to the tradition? They're going to be at a ballpark. So me, Justin, and Jimmy, we're going to be rocking some special Shed Podcast jerseys, baseball jerseys. It's going to be awesome. Oh, yeah, my SummerSlam. Wait, SummerSlam? Oh, the Sumir Slam shirt? The Sumir Slam? Welcome to WWE Sumir Slam. That was great. That was great. The guy's just like, what's wrong? Like, all the viewers were like, what's wrong with the shirt? I'm like, I don't know, sir. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to get down to business, people. So, with everything that happened in the last week in wrestling, there has been quite a bit to talk about here. I'm also going to be bringing up AEW Wrestle Dream, because that was actually a really good show that I watched last night. There will be a cup giveaway for Survivor Series and Saturday Night Main Event as a heads up. Yeah, check that chat right there. So for anybody who's interested in going for that cup, be sure to like, share, subscribe, and join us in the chat for both Survivor Series and Saturday Night Main Event, which will be John Cena's last match in WWE. It's going to be a great night. Me and the boys, we're excited for this. I think we're probably going to do burgers, dogs, or nachos or something to keep with the ballpark theme, since Survivor Series is going to be held in the stadium where the San Diego Padres play. I think it's going to be a great idea. I think it's going to be great. As long as I don't get no nacho cheese on my jersey, I think I'll be all right. But with that being said, let's go ahead and kick off the show. I gave about 5 minutes for people to come in. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, wrestling fans all around, to another episode of the Week in Wrestling Podcast with the Shed Podcast. Brought to you by Louis Creations and the Shed Podcast. I am just built different, Cody Hawkinz, your host for the Week in Wrestling. And I appreciate it, Albert. Appreciate that subscription. And so, just get with us for Summer Survivor Series as well as Saturday Night Main Event. All you have to do, if you're already subscribed and you shared it out, join us in the chat. We will give y'all a code word to put in chat to get y'all on that prize wheel. So whenever we get to that post show, right whenever we get to the end of it, after we review the show, right before we go off the air, we're going to spin that wheel, and whoever it is gets to win that cup. Courtesy of Louis Creations and the Shed Podcast. So I'm actually looking up quite a bit of news right now. I've been bouncing around Wrestling Inc. I've been going through Fightful. I've been checking out the Wrestling Observer. There's been a lot of interesting news. WWE did give out a cease and desist order to Andrade. I think this was concerning his 90-day non-compete. No español, sir. Inglés. All right, let's see.
The force is with you, young Skywalker.
We're going to go ahead and look up a few things here.
You are not a Jedi yet.
All right, let's see. Where was that editorial? Okay. All right, cool. Aiden's channel. Thank you. Appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that. We don't do Espanol, but just put on the closed captions and we'll go from there. Because I think we do have a closed caption option to watching the live. And you'll get real-time closed captioning and translation. Let's see. I'm trying to find that article about Andrade El Idolo. And if y'all seen it already on SmackDown, Jacob Fatu is going to be out for a while. Apparently he had a workout injury, if I'm not mistaken, which is going to cause him to be out for a minute. Matter of fact, let me pull up that one. Wrestling Inc. did a segment, a editorial on the backstage news on why Jacob Fatu wasn't medically cleared to wrestle on SmackDown this past Friday night. Yeah, non-wrestling injuries. Yeah, so they had to put that as part of the storyline. Right. According to Wrestling Inc., following reports that Jacob Fatu will be out of action due to a non-wrestling related issue. Friday night SmackDown that just happened on the 17th wrote the performer off TV with a mystery attack angle. Of course, y'all seen that. New information is now beginning to emerge regarding Fatu's status, with PW Insider Elite reporting that the word circulating backstage was that Fatu is recovering from a dental procedure. It was noted that the news could not be independently verified, but that was the reason given by numerous wrestlers who were present at SmackDown. The report also indicated that many within WWE feel that Fatu is overdue for a more prominent position on TV. While previous rumors stated that Fatu could be put out for an extended period of time, there is optimism that he will be back sooner than expected. Fatu was set to wrestle McIntyre on SmackDown to determine a number one contender for the Undisputed Championship held by Cody Rhodes. It's likely they're going to pick this feud back up whenever he's ready to return. Instead of wrestling Fatu, McIntyre tried and failed to win the WWE Championship from Cody Rhodes as the match ended in a disqualification. That was an interesting way to end SmackDown, might I add. We're going to bring that up in a little bit. Of course, everybody knows the story of Fatu. He signed last year, quickly joined the Bloodline, lasted up until this past June whenever, Fatu decided he was going to go his own route, did the hard face turn, which I thought was awesome. Awesome. Now, I will bring up, okay, so the Republican Dominicana. Okay, well, there is some Dominican Republic. Wait, isn't that, oh, wait, no. Hold on. Oh, that's good. I got like this breakfast blend coffee that whew, good stuff. Now, going back to that, and some other news. Where is that Andrade editorial? Y'all bear with me, please. I mean, of course, everybody is also waiting for the WWE full-on official WWE debut of Joe Hendry, which everybody's been on the edge of their seat waiting for this to happen. I'm looking forward to it because I think I think Joe Hendry is gonna do great things in WWE, as if he hasn't been doing great things already as it is. It's been great. It's great. You know, let's see. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where's that Andrade segment? The hell? All right, take it easy. Be good. Or be good at it. Also, I had seen there was an independent show that Karrion Kross showed up at. If anybody's seen that along the airwaves or along your Facebook wall or your social media updates and things like that, it was an interesting show out. Very interesting show out. Let's see. Where is it? So there was a bit of an update on his absence from AEW, Andrade's absence from AEW, not long after his WWE release. So far, Andrade's second run with AEW has made more headlines for what he hasn't done than what he has done. No, since coming back to AEW, attacking Kenny Omega a couple weeks ago, Andrade has been MIA, hardly being mentioned on AEW TV, while also pulling out of independent bookings. And it appears the reason may have finally come to light. On Thursday's Wrestling Observer Radio, Brian Alvarez revealed what he had heard regarding Andrade's situation. He would go on to say, I quote, "I don't know what's going on with Andrade, but I was told he's not hurt. He didn't get himself fired," Alvarez said. "But apparently something is up involving his WWE non-compete. That would explain maybe AEW figured maybe we can get this worked out in time to put the Kenny Omega match on. But they didn't. I mean, I don't know, but I was given the impression it could be something resolved quickly, or it could be something that might not be resolved for a while, but it's something related to the non-compete. And usually, WWE superstars who get released by the WWE have a 90-day non-compete clause. Sometimes it's 30 days, sometimes it's 60 days, but the typical one is 90 days. To where it's, they try to, get them out of the limelight a little bit, to where they can have that well, I wouldn't call it a smooth transition, I mean, unless they're getting paid by WWE during that 90-day non-compete before they go work for another promotion like TNA or AEW or New Japan or Game Changer or Ring of Honor. It really shouldn't matter, though, because then there's some superstars that don't even get a non-compete at all. The moment they leave, they go straight to the other company. Like, what was it? Edge. Adam Copeland. He didn't even have a 90-day non-compete. He left WWE after working Sheamus in Montreal. And then like a week or so later, boom, he's on AEW television. Some of those guys, like, it's kind of confusing. Why would they put a 90-day non-compete on somebody who's not that hot of a commodity, but has been fighting his ass off to gain the recognition that he deserves? Andrade El Idolo is a solid wrestler. Whenever he first came back to WWE, he came back for, the Rumble? Had some bangers with Carmelo, Carmelo Hayes, LA Knight. Jimmy Uso. He had some really great matches. And as to, him tagging with Rey Fenix, that was great. I thought that was an awesome tag team. But backstage politics, him and Charlotte Flair divorcing, I know that had something to do with that. I'm not going to say, look, it's neither here or there. I'm not going to put full blame on one thing and not the other. But at the same time, Andrade does deserve a little bit more respect. I feel he's an outstanding in-ring performer. They should have, honestly, my honest opinion, if they were going to fizzle him out that quick in WWE, they shouldn't have even given him a non-compete. They should have, he let his contract expire. They could have waived that non-compete and went straight to AEW without having to worry about all this cease and desist crap. That's the thing that kind of pisses me off about the way the wrestling business works. These are independent contractors. I myself, I'm an independent contractor. I've worked for 14 independent federations across 9 states. All along the Gulf Coast. I worked a couple in Oklahoma, 2 in California, 1 in New Jersey, 1 in Pittsburgh. I've worked a couple in South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Mississippi, Alabama. Of course, my home state of Louisiana, Arkansas, Texas. I've done all that. What really confuses me is, as an independent contractor, I feel like there shouldn't even be a non-compete clause unless you were a super hot commodity and you really built your name up strong enough to where, hey, maybe it would be in our best interest to let you kind of fizzle out a little bit, but still have that anticipation for those fans to wait. Hey, where is he going? Who's he getting signed to? Where is he going to work? Who is he going to go against whenever he debuts at whatever company? And it really bothers me a bit with this whole non-compete. There should, my honest opinion, there should not be a non-compete. And if there is a non-compete, 30 days maximum. 30 days. That's it. 30 days max, 14 days or 2 weeks minimum. So the minimum will be, I would give the minimum 2 weeks, maximum 30 days. Because, that's taking money out of his mouth, bro. That's taking money out of his bank account. Now, if that 90-day non-compete, you're still getting paid whatever you need to get paid, they're still going to pay you during that non-compete, fine. Beautiful. Give him that time cushion to sort out his affairs, his or her affairs, after leaving the said company. Give him 90 days to get himself situated at home. Do what you got to do. Go visit your family. Go spend some time away from the business for a little bit. 30 days seems fair. 90 days is too much. That's just me, though. I think a 90-day non-compete is absurd. But that's none of my business. Guys, good coffee. Now, in other news, we did have AEW Wrestle Dream last night, featuring 4 championships were on the line. Jon Moxley and Darby Allin squared off in an I Quit match. You had Samoa Joe challenging Hangman Adam Page for the AEW World Championship. That was the first time he put the championship on the line since retaining it against Lee Moriarty on the September 24th episode of AEW Dynamite. Was a great match. Hangman did get the win. But Joe turned on him. The Ops jumped Hangman, whatever. Powerhouse Hobbs and Katsuyori Shibata would retain the AEW World Trios Championships against La Facción Ingobernables this past Wednesday. Let's see. Chris Statlander defended the AEW Women's World Championship against Toni Storm one final time. Retaining that championship would be Chris Statlander. Now let's see. The 2 other championships on the line was Brody King and Bandito putting the AEW World Tag Team Championships on the line for the first time since retaining against the Gates of Agony, Toa Leona, Bishop Khan on September 24th. They went to take on, challenged Kazuchika Okada and Konosuke Takeshita from the Don Callis family. Let's see, and Mark Briscoe would be challenging Kyle Fletcher for the AEW TNT Championship. Which, great matches. Awesome matches. I got to watch it a good bit. WatchWrestling.ae, might I add. Courtesy of them. Jamie Hayter will be taking on Thekla in this night, which was great. The match between Thekla and Jamie Hayter, everyone else from her group was barred from ringside. Jamie Hayter would get that match. Following match after that would have been Jurassic Express versus the Young Bucks, and a $500,000 match. Pretty solid overall. It was good to see the Jurassic Express return after a few weeks. You know, honestly, I was wondering where Jack Perry went, really. You want my honest opinion on that? Bucks and Jurassic Express had an outstanding tag team match. Jurassic Express would get the win. After the match, Perry hands Luchasaurus a bag full of $500,000, offers to help the Bucks by extending his hands to both of them. Bucks consider accepting, but before they can officially do that, Josh Alexander, Mark Davis, Lance Archer, they attack Jurassic Express. The Bucks roll out, head up the entrance ramp. Out comes Kenny Omega, heading to the ring, passing in front of the Bucks. Hey, you're not gonna help these guys? You know what? All right, go fuck yourself. I'm gonna go handle up. So Kenny goes in, tries to play hero, tries to clean house. Jurassic Express makes their little comeback, clears the ring. Her Syndicate would make their way to the ring to defend the tag team championships. It was the Demand versus the Hurt Syndicate in a Tornado Trios #1 contenders match for the AEW World Trios Championships. My bad. That was my mistake. A whole lot of high spots here, man. But, I mean, it's a tornado match. So that means there's no rules. There's no DQ, no disqualification. I'm sorry. I'm going to say my favorite line from old Jimmy, from old Corny himself, lazy booking. What the fuck was this? Like, it was a great spot match. Whole bunch of spot monkey bullshit. I'm a very old school based person. Okay? It was, worthy. I get it. I understand that, but it's just not my cup of tea. There was so many weapons, so many tables, ladders, everybody, bodies everywhere. On like bodies leveling one another on the outside. MVP doing a suplex to Ricochet, goes for a pin. Leona breaks the fall, clinches in a Cobra Clutch on Lashley. Benjamin would break the hold by landing a knee on Leona. Bobby Lashley delivers a spear to Leona that surrounds Ricochet with Benjamin and MVP. Bishop Khan pulls Ricochet out of the ring to protect him. MVP catches him with a boot. Benjamin delivers a boot to Khan's face. Lashley follows it up with a spear. Pierce pins Khan for the win. So the Hurt Syndicate would get the win here. Yeah, right. Lazy booking. Like the spots, it made sense, but at the same time, there's a certain amount of control to the chaos. As a professional wrestler of 16 years and counting, the more people you put in a match, the more clusterfuckish it becomes. Pardon my language. Yeah, good old Jim. You damn right. Hey, Jim, I'll give it this. I grew up watching Jim Cornette. I do listen to both of his podcasts. I listen to The Experience. I listen to The Drive-Thru. The guy has good common sense of how wrestling storytelling should be. Don't just put a whole bunch of people out there and say good fucking luck. Right? What's the point? Like, real, what's the point? Now, following that, Mark Briscoe and Kyle Fletcher defending the TNT Championship. There was a lot of shoulder tackle spots. They would brawl a whole lot on the outside. Plenty of pins, plenty of back and forth. Mark Briscoe, the resiliency of this man after 20 plus years in the business, like he is showing the wrestling world that he is, as a singles wrestler, one bad son of a bitch. Okay, yes, he is one half of one of the greatest tag teams in professional wrestling. God bless his man soul, Jay Briscoe. The Briscoes, Mark and Jay were legendary. I still flash back and look at the last match that Mark and Jay had against FTR. That was a knockdown, drag out match and a display of real wrestling prowess by two of the greatest tag teams in professional wrestling. There's times whenever they, at the end of that match, and they hug it out, dude, I'm shedding a fucking tear because that kind of wrestling is awesome storytelling. And I'm saying this from the bottom of my heart. That is proper storytelling. I mean, those two teams have been at each other's throats for years. Especially after FTR got their release. Oh, sorry. They were the revival in WWE. But once they got that release from WWE, they went on a goddamn tear. Okay? They went on a fucking tear. And I loved it. I loved it. Especially the rivalry between the Briscoes and FTR. Bar none, chef's kiss, best matches I've ever watched from both teams. Now, Kyle Fletcher would end up winning that match and still your AEW TNT champion. Next match up would have been Chris Statlander defending the AEW Women's World Championship one more time against Timeless Toni Storm. Great back and forth between these two. Statlander hitting some really big moves. Of course, Toni Storm doing what she does best. She's a very entertaining wrestler. I love the vintage look. I like ever since, like when she first started the Timeless thing, I think it was very unique. But it was very corny to me at first. It grew on me. So Toni Storm has grown on me, and I love what she's done with the Timeless persona. But all the timelessness in the world would not stop Chris Statlander from fighting for everything that she's got and still coming out on top, and still your AEW Women's World Champion, Chris Statlander. Now, next match would be Mercedes Moné defending the TBS and interim Ring of Honor Women's World Television Championship against Mina Shirakawa. Mina Shirakawa was the Ring of Honor Women's World Television Champion, the interim champion. Yeah, she's still 10 belts Moné. She did defeat Mina Shirakawa to gain the interim Ring of Honor Women's Television Championship. Then after that, Chris Statlander would emerge from the back. Moné looking to land a right hand. Statlander intercepts it and connects with a big Samoa drop on Moné. And then Statlander holding up that AEW Women's World Championship over her head, proving that the dominance is Chris Statlander. She has done an amazing job since being AEW Women's World Champion. I will not discredit Chris Statlander. Mercedes Moné, I'm sorry, to me, she will never have the fire that she had as Sasha Banks in WWE. That's just me, though. Once again, that's just me. I feel like, I'm sorry, the CEO thing is great, but that attitude needs to change. She needs to put more serious reality into what she's doing instead of acting like a stuck-up bitch. I'm sorry, I said it. That gimmick, she doesn't have to be all, No, basically, yeah, she's going to eventually have to lose all those titles. She's like the only woman who's ever gotten that many championships in the world of professional wrestling in a single time, in a single run. The only other person I know who's held that many belts at one time, my childhood hero, one of my favorites, Ultimo Dragon. That was a bad son of a bitch. I'm just saying, that dude was bad, and he is still a bad mofo till this day. So Tim Belts Monet is your new interim Ring of Honor Women's Television Champion and still your AEW TBS Champion. Now, following match, right after that, Brody King and Bandito would defend the AEW World Tag Team Championships against Konosuke Takeshita and Kazuchika Okada with Don Callis Don Fallis in tow. There was a lot of back and forth, not only between both teams, but between Konosuke Takeshita and Kazuchika Okada. Kazuchika Okada is a New Japan prospect. That dude has been a milestone in New Japan's history in the last like 10 years. Konosuke Takeshita coming from DDT. Outstanding athlete. I feel like he was out of place in DDT. But he was very funny in DDT. I'll give him that. He was very funny. Like some of the storylines, some of the skits they would do in DDT, for anybody who watches it, yeah, amazing. Wrestle Universe, if you're subscribed to Wrestle Universe, you're able to watch companies like Stardom, DDT, Choco Pro. There's a bunch of different Japanese federations on that one membership that you'll be able to watch all of their shows all week long, all month long, all year long. I think it's like maybe $9.99 a month US dollar. Or it might be, I think it's actually, it's like $12.99 or $13.99 now. I can't remember, but check out WrestleUniverse.com for your shot or for your chance to subscribe to a lot more than just what you see in WWE, AEW. There's a lot of great wrestling out there. The more y'all study, the more y'all research it out here, hell, check it out here on YouTube. Just type in Stardom Wrestling. That's where you got some of your greats from. That's where you got Io Shirai, okay? Asuka was a Sendai Girls. Hikaru Shida was, if I'm not mistaken, Sendai Girls. Mina Shirakawa, Stardom. Blake Monroe, currently with NXT. She was former AEW, but then before AEW, she was in Stardom. There's a lot of great wrestlers, men and women, coming from Japan. And the more you do some research, the more you'll understand the kind of wrestling they did was very high impact, very stiff, very snug wrestling. And if anything, I myself, as a pro wrestler, I just worked the show last Saturday in Port Neches, Texas, my debut at SSW, Southern Stars Wrestling. Me and Devontae Quinn brought the roof down. And for my debut, I was in the semi-main event. The semi-main. Main event had to keep up with us. So what does that tell you? I am damn good at what I do, and I am proud of it. I am a product of Gulf Coast Wrestling out of Morgan City, Louisiana. I was polished up by Dog Pound Academy. Rodney Mack and Jazz helped me clean up my technique and my ability and my storytelling. I can never thank those companies enough for giving me an opportunity to do what I love the best. Now, going back to Okada, Okada, Konosuke Takeshita against Bandito and Brody King for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. I do like the fact that there's a little bit of animosity between Konosuke Takeshita and Kazuchika Okada. Don Fallis is not doing any good for me. But he's got a solid faction. He's got a lot of very powerful wrestlers. Kyle Fletcher, the Murder Hawk, Lance Archer, which, Lance, if you ever see this, dude, I fucking love you, dude. You are great. You were one of the greatest, one of the most awesome people to share a backstage locker room with when we got you booked down here in Louisiana. And I'll never forget that freaking frying pan of a hand you got whenever you deliver chops. You didn't even chop me. You chopped Minotaur. And that scared the shit out of me. Now, back to the match. I'm sorry, I got sidetracked again. Brody King and Bandito would go on to defend and retain the AEW World Tag Team Championships, beating Takeshita and Kazuchika Okada in a very flashy style. That 21 plex from Bandito is ridiculous, man. And then we got your semi-main event, Adam Page defending the AEW Men's World Championship against Samoa Joe. Very big, bulky, knockdown, drag out, back and forth, enziguris, hard punches, stiff chops. Hell, it took like a couple of buckshot lariats to put Samoa Joe on his back. It was great. It was a very adrenaline-packed match, and being that Samoa Joe works so methodically, he had to slow down Hangman Adam Page. If you seen, Hangman was just trying to blum 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 blum. Joe's like, sit your ass down, slow the fuck down. Okay, and that was my favorite thing about it. I was like, bro, slow down. He did not, like, Hangman had a problem with what's this, that. Joe's like, slow the fuck down and let things register with the crowd. Like, even the AEW World Champion had to get told to slow down. Watch that match back. If y'all have the means to watch back Wrestle Dream, watch that shit again. And watch Samoa Joe as when you'll see Hangman come in a flurry. Samoa Joe just tells him to hit the fucking brakes. And if it wouldn't have been for Samoa Joe slowing down the pace when needed, that match would have went 10 minutes and that's it. But they went like 20, 25 minutes, I think. It was still a very good match. After the match, Powerhouse Hobbs and Katsuyo Shibata would join Samoa Joe in the ring. Joe shakes hands with Page, raises his hands, but then the Ops would turn their backs on Page and begin firing stomps on him. They level Page, leave him in the ring, head to the back as the officials would check on Page. All right, and the main event, Jon Moxley with Marina Shafir ringside facing Darby Allin in an I Quit match. This, I think we're gonna, a matter of fact, Bliss is messaging on Discord in the group here. For those who are interested, join us in the Discord group and check in our general chat. Click our link in the bio here at the Shed Podcast to get the access link to join us at the Shed Podcast Discord channel. Bliss, who's on the Discord channel, our friend Bliss, asking for an update on Seth Rollins. So let me get through this final match here for Wrestle Dream, and we'll get moving on that. I'll go ahead and bring that up. This was, of course, Darby Allin returning from climbing Everest. He basically set a Guinness World Record for cutting a promo at the highest point on Earth. I think he was at the K2 Summit, like K2 or K1. That was an amazing feat. I'm gonna give it that. Darby Allin got some balls, okay? Because that air is so ungodly thin at basically the top of the world. I gotta give him credit. I would have to get myself down to below 200 pounds, be in peak physical shape, to be able to climb up that mountain and make it back down, okay? Because that takes like weeks, like a couple of weeks to get that down. All right, now moving forward. Claudio Castagnoli, near the end of the match, fills a tank of water, a fish tank full of water, as Marina Shafir would toss Darby Allin back in the ring. Moxley would try to drown Darby in the water. I think that kind of corny, kind of dumb, but it added to the intensity of the match. I'll give it that. But when once he's doing that, the lights go out. The return of Sting. It was only a small spot, but it made so much sense. Because Sting passed down his blessings to Darby Allin. Sting would return to protect Darby in this match because, of course, in an I Quit match, there's no disqualifications. Another lazy booking match, but they made this make sense to an extent to where it was digestible for me. Sting coming back with the bat. Sting would be standing behind Moxley, put the sleeper on Moxley with the bat. Pac would be in the ring, but Sting fights him off, hits him with the bat, stares down Shafir on the outside, He would carry Shafir to the back as Allen grabs Sting's bat and repeatedly hits him with it across his back, using the AEW flag to choke Moxley, crashing on top of the glass from the now broken tank. Then cinches a sharpshooter on Moxley, and Moxley says, "I quit." Your winner, Darby Allin, to close off AEW Wrestle Dream. Now, pretty solid, decently fair AEW pay-per-view. For what it's worth, for what they've built up, it was not a bad pay-per-view. But be that as it may, with all things considered, let's go ahead. Matter of fact, Bliss, you brought up Seth Rollins. So let me see about getting the update on Seth real fast. Con permiso, por favor. All right. Now, Adam Pearce is set to provide an update coming up tomorrow on Monday Night Raw concerning World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins. It was a shoulder injury while performing the coast-to-coast headbutt during his match against Cody Rhodes at Crown Jewel. That flying headbutt. Why? Made sense, but still, there's always a way around it. He could have done the coast-to-coast drop kick. Could have done it, but he didn't. He did a flying headbutt. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. But, be that as it may, unlike his previously faked knee injury, Rollins' shoulder injury is said to be legitimate and is possible need of surgery that would keep him out of action for an extended period of time, aka about 6 to 8 months. He'd be lucky to make it back for, like, at the earliest, Royal Rumble. The latest, WrestleMania. That's just me, though. You know, I mean, these guys go through a lot of rehabilitation, especially a shoulder injury. That is a very sensitive situation because I've had rotator cuff damage before. Like, my first year in the business, I blew my rotator cuff and had an AC separation. That shit sucks, okay? And I had to doctor it the hard way. I didn't have no surgery, you know, so I have yet to have surgery on this shoulder, but I can still throw a mean fucking clothesline, okay? Check out my match on TikTok. Oh, wait, that's right. I'm still in the middle of editing that. So if you want to find me at JBD4LYFE, that is JBD4Life, on TikTok, I will be uploading the match against Devontae Quinn for my debut at Southern Star Wrestling, probably by the end of this evening. So y'all keep your eyes peeled for that. Now, as of now, it's unclear if Rollins' reported injury will result in him vacating the World Heavyweight Championship, you know, which he claimed by cashing in Money in the Bank. We already know the story. Cashed it on CM Punk. Current plans are calling Rollins to face Roman for the World Heavyweight title. Roman Reigns. Now, as for Breakker and Reed, WWE writes, what's next for Breakker and Reed, as well as Paul Heyman? You know, find out live on Monday Night Raw tomorrow night. So, with that being said, I'm ready for this. I'm here for this. All right, so is there anybody else who wants to bring up a topic before I start going over Monday Night Raw, NXT, and SmackDown? I'll give y'all about like a couple minutes. I'll sit and chill and have a couple sips of coffee here. If anybody has a subject they want to bring up, now's your time. I'll give y'all the next few, I'll do like the next 5 minutes before I go on and talk about Raw, NXT, and SmackDown from this week. Because there's decently enough to talk about. All 3 shows. I was impressed. Hell, dude. Bound for Glory. Let's talk about Bound for Glory. The Hardys and the Dudleys one final time. The finish was a little, it was a little to me. But You got to take into consideration these guys have been in the business for over 20 years, almost 30 years. And the Hardys are still your TNA World Tag Team Champions as well as your NXT Tag Team Champions. WWE Legends, TNA Legends, both teams. Hardys, Dudleys. There would be no Hardys without the Dudleys. There would be no Dudleys without the Hardys. These guys go together like peas and carrots, man. They have produced some of the most intense matches. They have made history across TNA and WWE. They have made history, groundbreaking moments. And we can say, all of us here at the Shed Podcast, myself especially, that those are two of the most historically monumental tag teams of our generation. From the mid-90s all the way to now. Period. Bar none, hands down. Pack it up and get the fuck. Those two are the best tag teams ever. Ever. I said what I said. All right, so since nobody wants to, since there's no any hot topics that people want to talk about, let's go ahead and get down with it. Let's get down to business. Yes, I want to keep watching. I need...
Destroy me, Obi-Wan.
Wait, hold on.
I will do what I must.
I will do what I must. That was a great... That Obi-Wan series, fucking awesome. Just saying. I don't know if anybody's ever, who's a fan of Star Wars in here. But, B-U-T-T. Let's see. All right, here we go. There we go. All right, so let's get cracking. Monday Night Raw this past Monday, October 13th. They were still in Perth, Australia, so it aired. Let's trade Jade Cargill for Last Legend. Covington, man, that's actually a hot button subject there. Thank you. Because, man, that's actually a decent talking point there, because look at what Last Legend has done already. Look at what Jade Cargill has done, from not knowing a wrist lock from a wristwatch to being in WWE in the span of a few years. Like, Jade Cargill came from out of fucking nowhere. I mean, Last Legend kind of did too, but Last Legend's been in professional wrestling a lot longer than Jade Cargill. Now, it kind of sucks what happened to Jade after she got her eye gashed by in that last match that she was in. That sucks. That really does suck. I hate for that to happen to any wrestler, any worker. I don't care. AEW? Wait, wait, you telling me put Cargill back in AEW? Man, that's a No. WWE has done a lot for Jade Cargill. I mean, now, she did a lot in AEW. She's the second longest reigning AEW Women's TBS champion in the history of the company. Oh, wait, put Jade Cargill in NXT and Last Legend on the main roster? Now, I'm about that. I like that. I like that idea. Because, honestly, somebody like Last Legend needs that main card spotlight. Because her sitting in NXT and not wrestling nearly as much as she was 6 months ago, as much as she was a year ago, with like the whole metaphor thing with the Swiss Supernova or Scottish Supernova, that dude, Noam Dar, with metaphor and all that. I like that idea though. Put Last Legend on the main roster. Put her on SmackDown. Yeah. If I would put Lash Legend on the main card, she'd go to SmackDown. Jade, knock her down a peg, get her in NXT, let her get her bearings back, or get her with Shawn Michaels to have Shawn Michaels, kind of remold her a little bit. You know what I mean? I think that would be an awesome idea. But Covington, yeah, Covington AO, thank you. Thank you for that one. I think that was a really good idea. A really good hot point there. Now, we had a good string of matches from Monday Night Raw. They were still in Australia. Raw opened up with like a video recapping what happened at Crown Jewel. Of course, you have, for the first time, Stephanie Vaquer getting the Crown Jewel Championship. My heart's set on Vaquer. She's an outstanding worker. That moonsault spiral tap. That moonsault spiral tap is just, even though she did kind of land weird on Tiffany Stratton, like her thigh. She didn't keep her legs locked in long enough for the landing. It felt like her knee kind of like smacked Tiffany in the noggin there on the landing on that spiral tap moonsault. But great opportunity for Stephanie Vaquer. And then Seth Rollins getting the men's Crown Jewel Championship down. Good job. Even though Seth did mess up his shoulder to the point where they are going to have surgery on Seth. It's a bummer. But this Monday Night Raw, woo! There was plenty to talk about on this one, guys. All right, Seth would come out, cut his promo. The Australian crowd gave Bronson Reed a great reaction when Rollins got to him. World Heavyweight Champion called the new Tribal Chief to a mixed response. I was going to say, I know that's not my phone. Oh, it's my playlist.
You blocked me on Facebook.
I'm about to say, like, I do not know. Like, that's my purse. I don't know you. Let's move on. Promos were good here at the start of the show. I did not have a problem with it at all. A little bit of foreshadowing. You got to agree with that. Depending on how you read into it, this segment might have planted some seeds for Breakker to eventually feud with Rollins over the world title. It was a decent promo. It was surprisingly nobody interrupted it. Not a bad thing, but just noticing. Solid promo. Did not have a problem with it at all. And then the Australian crowd calling Seth Rollins a wanker. That was great. And then for the Friday night SmackDown before Crown Jewel, Cody was in the ring cutting promo about Seth Rollins. Cody would try to get Michael Cole to reiterate what the crowd is calling Seth Rollins. Wade Barrett would take the mic, and it's like, Perth is saying Seth Rollins is a wanker. I'm like, I fucking knew it. I think it was great. I thought it was awesome. Like, I was sitting there like, yes, Wade fucking Barrett, go ahead, bro. Like, go the fuck ahead there, buddy. It was so much fun to watch that one. Now, first match on Monday Night Raw, Dominic Mysterio would defend the Intercontinental title against Penta again. Rey Mysterio would end up defeating Penta after Rusev showing up, but Penta took him out with a dive over the top rope. Then gave Dom a chance to grab one of the belts in the Timekeeper's bell hammer. Ref took the belt. Dom used the hammer behind his back he nailed Penta with it, with a 619 and a frog splash to get the win. Huge pop from the crowd, of course. So, and still your Intercontinental Champion, Dominic Mysterio. Rhea Ripley facing Kairi Sane from the Kabuki Warriors, basically touching back from Crown Jewel. Good match. Backstage segment, Asuka slapping Kairi Sane for losing their match at Crown Jewel. She would go to take on Rhea in this singles match. Ending with this Asuka attack, like the second half of the match was a lot better because both women brought a lot more physicality to their offense. Kept Asuka from getting the interference, allowing Ripley to hit the Riptide for the win. Ripley would defeat Kairi Sane in that one. Next match, Bronson Reed versus Jimmy Uso, being accompanied to the ring by the Oracle Paul Heyman. Bronson Reed would defeat Jimmy Uso via the tsunami. Bailey and Lyra Valkyria taking on Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez in a tag match. Oh, that slap that Lyra gave to Bailey, and Bailey just kind of woke up, had that like excited kind of laugh. I was like, that's interesting. But Bailey would go in and wreck house outside the ring. Oh, yeah, and put take out Raquel, eliminate Roxanne, get the pin, getting the win. Great match there. Bailey and Valkyria would defeat the Judgment Day. Jey Uso, LA Knight, CM Punk. There was a quick segment before the match. But at the end of it all, CM Punk would get the win and defeat LA Knight and main event Jey Uso. This was a great match for a triple threat. That's one thing that I've said about the WWE, that they are really good at formulating triple threat matches. They're putting the right people in the right matches together in triple threats, and it just makes sense. It does. They're doing really good about it. Then at the end of the show, it was basically a PLE episode here. After they took out, of course, the Vision would come out and take out CM Punk. Rollins came out. After they took out Punk, Breakker shocked everybody by spearing Seth Rollins. Dude, this was intense. That crowd did not see that coming. The moment they seen Braun pull a 45 and spear Seth, I was like, finally! I was really excited about that, believe it or not. I loved every second of that. That was great. And then after that, he would get in Paul Heyman's face. Not long after that, he would end up going to Bronson Reed saying, hey, are you with me or are you against me? Bronson pulling Rollins to the corner, hitting a tsunami. Oh, word. What you got? What is it?
Korean hot dog.
Where y'all went?
That's mine.
Oh, that's one of them Korean hot dogs?
You can have it.
Bruh. That's what's up.
It's sweet.
Well, it's going to be sweet, the batter sweet.
I thought it was going to be like salty.
You gotta understand sometimes with them Korean hot dogs, bro.
I've been wanting to try them.
Them Korean corn dogs are busting though. Like I wanted to get the jalapeno one, the jalapeno flaming hot. That's the one I want to try. Or the I think it's like the potato one, the loaded potato one. All right, so getting back to that, after Bronson Reed hits Seth with that tsunami, Paul raises both the men's hands. The crowd is going absolutely dog shit. It was a great way to end Monday Night Raw. Moving to NXT. I'm going to run through these real fast because we've been live for about an hour now. I want to try to minimize the amount of time here. So we had a battle royal to determine a new number one contender for the NXT Women's Championship. We had Josh Briggs taking on TNA's Matt Cardona, the complete Matt Cardona. Good match. Awesome match. Zarya would face Blake Monroe, and Lexis King would take on Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. Great matches through and through. Let's see. First match, Cardona versus Briggs started off the night. Briggs would defeat Cardona after surviving some of Cardona's biggest shots. Briggs would nail him with a huge running boot for the win. Very simple finish, very simple outcome. Dr. Wagner, Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. versus Lexis King. Wagner would defeat Lexis King, but not after having a promo, challenging Lexis King to a Dia de los Muertos match, or Day of the Dead match, which means anything goes. Zarya versus Blake Monroe. Blake Monroe would defeat Zarya, even though Zarya should feel like a monster. Like, that gimmick, she was very big, very bulky, very powerful. Why she's losing the way she is to Blake Monroe and, like, getting that kind of heat on her from a weak heel, or I like to call a shit-eating grin heel, or a chicken shit heel, it kind of confuses me a little bit. It really does. But end of the day, it's how they're putting her over. I really see Zarya and Soruka going to SmackDown soon. These two ladies need a call up. But yeah, Blake Monroe defeating Zarya in a singles match. Hank and Tank it was a triple threat tag team match, taking on the Culling and Chase U. It did result in a no contest due to Bronco Nima and Lucian Price making their return, killing the match, causing a no contest. Then going into the women's battle royal to determine the number one contender for the NXT Women's Championship, Tatum Paxley would win. It was a bit of out of the blue. After Tatum Paxley winning, Lyra Valkyria would run in from the back, giving her a big hug. They hugged it out, rolling all over the ring. Big old celebration. Izzy Dame was pissed, of course, because it was between, I think the last three in the ring were, well, it was Kendall Gray, Jordan Grace, Izzy Dame, and Tatum Paxley. Kendall Gray getting eliminated first, and then Tatum Paxley eliminating Jordan Grace and Izzy Dame, getting that number one contender's opportunity. So congratulations to Tatum Paxley. That would close off NXT. Moving to Friday Night SmackDown. Oh man. Just like Monday Night Raw was an interesting one, Friday Night SmackDown was great. Now, there was a very good setup here. It was an awesome setup. To start off the night, I mean, the matches were supposed to be Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre, because of course I brought up that update earlier about the injury report on Fatu. He was not cleared to wrestle. He was still recovering from a dental procedure, which they kind of curveballed everybody, gave it a storyline twist. The women's tag team championships were on the line. Charlotte and Alexa defending against Zaruka, which is Soruka and Zarya. And then the Cody Rhodes appearance turned into a fight. It was a solid setup. Cody Rhodes would come out first to start off the show. He would inform the WWE Universe that the scheduled match between Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre will be the number one contenders bout. But before Fatu could come out, let's see. Actually, no. Cody made his way to the ring to kick off the show. He drawed off the big pop here. He immediately addressing the loss about Seth Rollins at Crown Jewel. And his sights, looking forward to facing whoever wins between Fatu and McIntyre. He also said that he, like the fans, would sit back and watch this showdown between two absolute monsters in the ring. But the first actual legitimate match would be Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss defending and retaining their WWE Women's Tag Team Championships against Soruka and Zarya. They would get that one there. The figure eight following, and the challenger had no other choice than to tap out. Charlotte Flair getting a win for the team and retaining the tag team championships. The United States Championship Open Challenge. Sami Zayn issuing the Open Challenge the last few weeks on Friday Night SmackDown. And who shows up to answer the call? A returning Ilya Dragunov. After 1 year facing a knee injury, knee surgery, recovery, rehabilitation. Ilya Dragunov's music hits, and I'm like, yes, yes, it's about fucking time. And yeah, I was really stoked to see that. Look, I got goosebumps thinking about that because Ilya Dragunov is one of my favorite guys in the undercard or in the mid card scene. I think he's great. You know, from his time in NXT UK, his time in the Indies before that, NXT UK taking on Volta before he became Gunther for the NXT UK Championship. That knockdown drag out that homeboy had against Gunther. Oh my God. There were so many chops being delivered in that match, but let's get back to this here. Ilya Dragunov and Sami Zayn for the United States Championship Open Challenge. Ilya Dragunov is your new United States champion, but not long after that, the MFTs would make a run in and destroy Sammy and Ilya. Ray Phoenix tried to make a save. That fell short. Then Bo Dallas would appear in a pre-taped video on the Tron, issuing a warning to the faction before Eric Rowan, Dexter Lumis, and Joe Gacy and Nikki Cross hopped on the apron and stared him down. That would cause the MFTs to retreat. But once again, congratulations, Ilya Dragunov, on the return, the win, and the United States Championship. Next up, the Motor City Machine Guns would face Los Garces in a tag team match. The Guns would defeat Los Garces via pinfall, delivered the Skull and Bones to finish the job. Great match there. Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre would square off not long after the situation, because it was supposed to be Fatu and Drew. Drew taking out Fatu backstage. A bloody mouth, missing couple teeth, quote unquote. Cody Rhodes would come out not long after Drew, and they would just like, you know, Cody's like, okay, you want it so bad, you want this title, let's have it tonight. Cody's in his suit, you know, whooping all kinds of ass on Drew McIntyre. It ended up resulting in a disqualification. McIntyre would defeat Rhodes via DQ, but of course, in the ways of DQ, champion's advantage, champion cannot lose the title via disqualification. Couple takeaways, honestly. Rhodes is one of the, there was a fine brawl, but there was a lot of aggression and intensity. I liked it. But there was something, that just didn't really fill in the spaces for me. You know, WWE advertising Jacob Fatu for all show long, knowing full well he would not be able to compete. That kind of pissed me off. But, once again, anything can happen in the world of professional wrestling. That's why I always say, card subject to change. The four most devastating words in professional wrestling. Card subject to change. It can happen. It will happen. It's just a question of when is it going to happen. Now, it was really great. The show through and through. They had a few matches. They filled up proper airtime. You know, this was, of course, the week following Crown Jewel, which they had been building Crown Jewel like crazy. It was a solid show. I mean, it wasn't the best, but it was enough to kick the can along. But very entertaining. Minus the curveballs, a very entertaining show. I enjoyed it very much. So that concludes my overall review of the week in wrestling. I will see y'all again this Sunday coming up. Once again, 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. start time, Central Standard Time here on YouTube. I want to thank everybody who's jumped in. Covington, John, Noringly Rosario, Justin, thank you for dropping in. Aiden's channel, thank you for dropping in. I appreciate everybody who's came in to watch the show. And I will see y'all next Sunday between 6 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time start up here on YouTube. So on behalf of Little East Creations and the Shed Podcast, I am Just Built Different Cody Hawkinz, wishing y'all a safe week, and we'll